We are fully in our implementation phase. We are going to implement and progress monitor how all of the things that you're going to be working on and all the things that you have been kind of pulling apart to put back together, how it actually comes into play when you're trying to put this into practice. So, answer this question again. We've always started with this reflection question. I always love to start with reflection questions when working with founders. How will you start showing up with clarity today? So much of this implementation phase is also moving you out of perfectionism and trying to ensure that everything needs to be perfect before you post. Everything needs to be perfect before you go take a meeting with so and so. Everything needs to be perfectly positioned because we get lost in the perfectionism. So I want you to take a moment to think, okay, here are some of the things that before even seeing what comes next, that I know that I can commit to showing up with clarity today. So take a moment to sit with that. And now the implementation phase begins. Now you have kind of diagnosed, piloted, tested some things out, gathered some data. You have also gone into and said, okay, let's design the strategy in a way that works for me, my story, who I am, who I want to connect with the stakeholder groups. You have all of that. I want you to think about now, let's move to action. You're going to be progress monitoring. You still need to keep that testing mindset in place. So number one, think about platform. What best suits you? Where does your audience live? Thinking about that as a focal point and choosing maybe just one. The second thing that is core to the work that I do is you constantly have to be testing. You're A/B testing a post. I use post just for a little, like for our language, but you can be A/B testing different types of messaging. You can be A/B testing different types of messaging around a product, like whatever that may be in an ad, whatever that means to you. Testing needs to be ingrained into your DNA. These are things that you can test your founder voice and the way that you are communicating things in different ways. And I want you to continuously do that in 30-day cycles. So you're testing certain things because at least at minimum, 30 days is going to give you enough breathing room to say, okay, I have enough data to make a decision on if this works versus, oh, nobody liked this post. I'm done. I'm not going to ever share that piece again. That's not enough data. We don't have enough data. We're making emotional decisions versus grounding ourselves in data, collecting data, the things that I've taught you in the previous modules, and constantly coming back to that time and time again. So the key here is to find that balance between giving something time to breathe, develop, let it grow, while also being consistently committed to change and iterated when is needed. So you don't want to be on either side of the spectrum. You don't want to be on like, I tested it once, everybody hated it, everybody hates me, I'm done, I'm never doing that or sharing that again. You don't want to be on that side. And you also don't want to be on the other side where you're so rooted in something and the data is showing you otherwise, and you're not listening to what your community, your stakeholders, your people are saying. You want to have your ear to the ground on both ends. You want to be flexible. And again, have this piece of testing and progress monitoring ingrained within your DNA. The last one is this like build in public tracker. And you can build whatever version of that. It can be a pretty elaborate Google Sheet, or it can be in your Notes app. It's really find a place that works for you. So when something goes live, when a conversation goes live, when you tell a piece of your story, when you just had a meeting with somebody, I want you to document that. And you're documenting both ends. Do you feel like it landed with the audience? Why not? And then did it feel aligned for you? So you're constantly in some way or another, and this just has to be short, like short snippets of the data that you can collect through these, whether it be one-on-one conversations, whether it's content that you're putting out, whatever that may be. I want you to start to collect data on also how you felt, not just how it performed. So when you start to share your story, keep track of what feels great to you, what feels uncomfortable to you, and then put that side by side with, do you feel like it's landing with your audience? How do you know? Are they engaged? How do you know? And you're going to keep iterating until you find that sweet spot where both maybe you're on the border of feeling uncomfortable, but it feels really aligned for you. And also it's landing. Like that is the sweet spot of where you understand and where you start to develop a founder voice and a leadership voice that is so clear that you are saying it and saying things and telling stories in ways that people can hear you. It cannot just be for ourselves and it cannot just be for our audience. It is this beautiful dance between the two. So now here's everything that you have. Your founder storyboard, your messaging matrix, that's like with the different stakeholder groups. You have a working strategy that you'll continue to tailor based off of your goals, your pillars, how the work evolves. And then you have a plan to test and evolve your plan. So this is just a reminder. Keep showing up, keep sharing. The right people are going to be there. They just want that piece of you to come through. They just want to fully see you for who you are. Perfection is the enemy of great art. Again, have to quote Rick Rubin. This is your reminder as you close this, and as you've like invested time into doing this for yourself, that you want to just start testing, start iterating, and collect data along the way so that you know which pieces you turn up the volume on and which pieces you're like, we got to turn it down. It's actually not really working. And that being said, I just want to thank you so much for being here. If you have watched it from beginning to end, you are already so much further along than many others, which is just taking the time to put the blinders on, listen to where you're at, and listen to like what's that sweet spot that you need to hit and really activate. So thank you so much for trusting me on this journey with you. Let me know how it goes, and I would love to connect.